This is Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You greatly appreciate it. Come on in, make yourself at home. You know the routine. This channel is for movie lovers of all types, shapes, whatever. It doesn't matter the format or the genre. If your format's VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, digital, Betamax, 4K, 3D, doesn't matter. Same with the genre. Horror, drama, sci-fi, fantasy, documentaries, whatever your flavor. Again, you guys are all welcome. And this week takes me to, believe it or not, Dollar Tree. I actually found a movie at Dollar Tree. I actually overlooked this a few times, looked closer, like an interesting movie. Unfortunately, it's not like it was back in 2019, 2020, 2021, where you could pick up 10, 20, sometimes 50 movies at Dollar Tree. That's such a big selection. You're seeing a lot more of the same titles, so not as much. But this week, go over my Dollar Tree pickup. I have this beautiful 3-set 3D horror pickup I picked up at eBay. Have some Scream Factory Kino Lorber horror collection. I actually have this nice this nice horror complete series that I picked up. So just a whole list of bangers. But before I get into what I picked up at Dollar Tree and online, not only do I collect movies, yes, I'm one of these weird, wild individuals. I actually watch them. And on a weekly basis, I like to share some of the things I've watched, either streaming off the Fire Stick, physical media from my collection, or as you see here, live in the theater with my family. But before I even get into that, I just want to share just a little something about myself and something I've been seeing on other YouTube channels. First of all, I refer to myself as a baller on the budget. The reason why I do that, I like to get the most bang for my buck. So if I can find movies out in the wild, either pawn shops, thrift stores, even on eBay auctions, I try to again get as many movies that I like as cheaply as possible. And the reason why I bring this up, when I started YouTube like 5 years ago, looking at other channels, I was somewhat amazed to see how these people can go out every Tuesday and buy like 3, 4, 5 titles at like 20, sometimes 30, 40 bucks a pop. Like that adds up after a while. I'm just wondering how you people doing this. Is your channel producing that much money that you can afford this? And I saw a YouTuber, I'm not going to mention that YouTuber's name, pretty much kind of spill the tea and let her subscribers and watchers know financially how getting these new titles every Tuesday has actually caused some of a financial conundrum for this person. They're actually thousands of dollars in debt from purchasing these movies every week. And I'm not crapping on anyone that does that. If you can do that, more power to you. Personally, I find more joy in going to these remote pawn shops, remote thrift stores, Goodwill, what have you, even on eBay auction, finding these movies where I normally will pay $20, $30, sometimes $50, $75 if you get them online, if they're out of print, paying sometimes a quarter, $1, $2. For me, that adds to the excitement of movie hunting. That's why you see a lot of my videos, DVD, Blu-ray hunting, because I'm trying to find that holy grail of movies at the most affordable price. And by doing this actually allows me to find those other movies that I'm not going to find in the wild. For example, in December, the Japanese 3D release of Deadpool and Wolverine is supposed to release, and those Japanese imports, they're a little pricey. Some of the highest draft movies cost a lot. By going to these pawn shops and eBay auctions, it allows me to get these more expensive DVDs or Blu-rays I get here and there. So that's why I call myself a baller on a budget. That's why you probably won't see Tuesday releases of the latest and greatest, but you'll more than likely find titles, actors, directors that you probably won't find on other channels. You'll find these out of print titles, these obscure directors, and this is really great movies, at least in my opinion, that you normally won't see. So that's what I call myself, All on a Budget. That's what this channel is about. So just a little bit about myself. Now, let me go into what I watched for the week. And I'm going to kick it off with the 2007 horror mystery thriller, Dead Silence. It's directed by James Wan, produced by Mark Berg, written by Lee Wanell. It stars Ryan Quanten, Amber Valletta, Donnie Wahlberg, Mark and Mark's older brother, Michael Fairman, and Joanne Henney. And the plot behind this, you have the protagonist. He returns to his hometown in search of answers to a horrendous event that happens in his life, which occurred after receiving a weird package containing a ventriloquist dummy named Billy, which may be linked to the legend of the ventriloquist Mary Shaw. Destined to find out what the truth is, Jamie goes to his hometown of Ravens Fair, where Shaw used to perform and is buried. But James is much more than what he expected. And this is a fun movie. First of all, ventriloquist dummies, they're creepy enough as it is. So James Wan does a great job of honing in on the creepiness of the ventriloquist dummy. Does a good job of kind of going a little detail on the life of the ventriloquist and the backstory behind that. One of the shortfallings, if you expect it to be like on the level of Saw or maybe Hereditary, it's not quite on that level. You're not going to find the gore or quite the same creepiness or scariness as you would with Hereditary, though, but it is a fun watch. So if you like ventriloquist dummies or that type of horror, definitely check out Dead Silence. My next pick is the 1988 comedy fantasy, a little bit of horror, Beetlejuice. This was directed by Tim Burton, produced by Michael Bender, written by Warren Scarron. This stars Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Michael Keaton. You have a guest appearance by Dick Cavett, Bob Peterson, Winona Ryder. And the plot behind this, if you're not familiar with Beetlejuice, thanks to an untimely demise of a young couple, a poltergeist in a New England farmhouse where they fail to meet the challenge of scaring away the insufferable new owners, wants to make a drastic change. In desperation, the undead newlywed turns to an expert fright miser, Beetlejuice, but he's got a diabolical agenda of his own. And this is just a fun, kid-friendly or family-friendly horror movie. What I like about this is the casting. Michael Keaton, he is Beetlejuice. You couldn't have a movie without him. Winona Ryder and Maureen O'Hara, it's a great chemistry between the stepdaughter, stepmom, and just an overall fun movie. One of the things you might find off-putting, the special effects don't age very well, but it's Tim Burton, so I don't think the special effects was really that key for him. I think it's more of a novelty just to accentuate Beetlejuice and the overall kind of quirky horror fantasy comedy that Tim Burton produces and that he's known for. So if you like Tim Burton and you're not familiar with Beetlejuice and you like that scary type of fantasy horror comedy, definitely check out the original Beetlejuice. And the main reason why I watched Beetlejuice, the original one, I wanted to watch the sequel, Beetlejuice, or Beetlejuice 2. It's a 2024 gothic dark fantasy comedy horror film. This is directed by Tim Burton, screenplay by Alfred Goh and Miles Miller, story by Alfred Goh, Miles Miller, and based on the characters by Michael McDowell, Larry Wilson. This stars Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Justin Theroux, Arthur Conti, and Monica Bellucci, and Jenna Ortega with Willem Dafoe. You might know Jenna Ortega from The Wednesday, the kind of reboot of the Addams Family. And I think it was a pretty decent sequel. It kept a lot of the original characters from the original Beetlejuice. I like the storyline between Astra, which was Winona Ryder's daughter, and her love interest. A nice little twist there. Very interesting how they dealt with the actor Jeffrey Jones. If you know Jeffrey Jones, he was in the movie Ferris Bueller. He got caught up in a little something, something, messing with some minors, you know what I'm saying, though. I won't get into details about that, though, but they did a very interesting job in keeping his character in the story, but not necessarily the actor. So I thought that was very interesting. My only thing I can really complain about this, I was hoping they had a couple more actors from the original in the sequel. They didn't, but still, solid remake, a lot of fun. Again, if you like the original, I think you'll like the sequel, Beetlejuice 2. And my last pick is the 2024 American superhero / horror film, Venom: The Last Dance. This is directed, written by Kelly Marcel. Tom Hardy also has some input as far as the storyline. Produced by Avi Arad, Matt Tomek, Amy Pascal, Kelly Marcel, Tom Hardy, and Hutch Parker. This time Tom Hardy, Juno Temple, Stephen Graham, Clark Bacco, and Andy Serkis. And the plot behind this, you have Eddie Brock and the Venom Cenobite are drunk in a bar in Mexico, still on the run after their recent battle with Carnage. The murder of Patrick Mulligan makes international headlines, with Eddie being named the prime suspect. Forrest Gump to set out for New York City and attempt to clear his name. And there's some side stories that go on with this. The things I liked about this, has some pretty decent special effects, gives that kind of monster feel like King Kong and Godzilla. The humor is kind of hit or miss. Has a link to the first and second movies though, but they kind of go off on this other story about this other entity that's being held by the Venom Cenobites, and it gets a little confusing and hazy at the end though. But overall, it was better than the second Venom, but not as good as the first one. Did get a chance to see it in 3D though, but hopefully they'll come out with the physical copy on 3D and they come out with the physical medium. Now, without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. Yes, I actually found something at Dollar Tree. I have my Dollar Tree pick, and I have the rest of this strictly devoted to Halloween and horror. I have everything from Disney Movie Channel, Scream Factory. I have a Kino Lorber horror collection set. I have a whole series of a television horror. So just a whole cornucopia of goodness, some bangers here. So let me get these scanned in, and we'll jump right into it. Hold on. All right, let's just jump into what I picked up at Dollar Tree. I believe I've actually seen this title several times, and as I was looking through the Dollar Tree movies, I looked a little bit closer and saw Phil Collins. I'm a big Phil Collins fan from the 80s. Speaking of the 80s, I have my Wesley Snipes here, my AKA Johnny Blade, my Billy Bob Thornton Sling Blade, and as I look closer, it looked like a cute kiss movie. Couple of awards here. So it's a blind buy for $1.25. Of course, I'm going to pick it up. So, Becoming Redwood. And this is a Screen Media release. Becoming Redwood. Now, into my horror picks here. Pick this up online. Vatican Tapes. You have Michael Pena in a very different role. He normally plays comedy roles. He has played some sci-fi and drama roles, though. But this is more of a horror picture. Not a bad watch. I saw this, I think, at the beginning of the year. Don't remember the details, though, but pretty decent watch. I believe it deals with exorcism and the Vatican Church, which I find very interesting. The Vatican Church has this whole library of history that only certain people can see, though. I thought that was very interesting. Vatican Tapes. Next, Shivers. This is a David Cronenberg's, and if this is the same Cronenberg I'm thinking of, he's done Scanners, Existence Z, Dead Ringers, and Map to the Stars, as well as some others. He has a very quirky way of doing movies, though. If you recognize Scanners, you can kind of get a feel for that. Shivers, very fun kind of horror picture. And this is a Lionsgate release. I have to see if the code is still good. Shivers. Next, I haven't seen this in years. I always found ventriloquists and their dummies a little odd and strange and a little creepy, though. And that's what it deals with. Dead Silence from the director of Saw. I believe that's James Wan. James Wan. Yeah, that's the director. I might be watching this weekend since I haven't seen this in a while. Dead Silence. And this is a Universal release. And I believe they've re-released this on a Scream Factory disc. So if you haven't seen this, definitely pick it up. Again, I'll probably give this a rewatch this weekend. Dead Silence. Next, we have something, I think this is from the 80s. You have Carlos Estevez, a.k.a. Charlie Sheen, Nick Cassavetes, Randy Quaid. I get Randy and Dennis mixed up. Yeah, Randy Quaid. That's the one that went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and started doing real strange things with his wife on film and online. Great soundtrack from the 80s. Billy Idol, Robert Palmer. Not a big fan of Ozzy or Motley Crue, but I do like Billy Idol. What was that song he had? He had several. White Wedding. And this is a Vestron release. Nice slip cover here. The back. And this is the Collector Series. Vestron. I gotta see if this still works. Wraith. Lionsgate release. Okay, Vestron must have the title because it was originally Lionsgate. So Vestron, Lionsgate. Next, I have the complete season or complete series of The Strain. excellent vampire show. It's a little different than your normal vampire series or show. These are bootlegs, obviously. Well, not so obvious. You can kind of tell on the disc, but they did an excellent job on the artwork. Nice cardstock, heavy cardstock, nice vivid pictures. However, the disc looks kind of funny though, but they play perfectly. Picture looks great. Oops, put it back in. How I knew it was, getting a new disc for this one. But how I knew it was a bootleg, when I scanned this in, that worked great. When I went to go scan in the second season, it scans in, the second season scans in as season 1. So they could at least copy the barcodes. They didn't do that though, but everything else looks almost flawless. This season 2. The dark artwork on season 2. Season 3. That's the artwork on the back for season 3. And I believe you can probably watch The Strain, maybe on Hulu, maybe. I'm not positive. I've seen it somewhere online. And you have the final season, the complete 4th season. Actually, look this up. I don't even know if they put the 4th season out on Blu-ray in the US. I'm not positive about that, but again, I couldn't find it online. I'm not a big fan of bootlegs, but when they do this, you can't find it. Hey, you do what you gotta do. That's season 4, just in case I didn't show the back of this one. Season 3, season 2, and season 1. The complete series of The Strain, and a very reasonable price also. So next we have, now this is kind of horror, but kiddie horror, kind of Disney horror, Blackbeard's Ghost. I believe this is out of print. Well, pretty much all of Disney Movie Club, since they closed that down, is pretty much out of print. Some of these Disney titles are going for an arm and a leg. For example, George of the Jungle, which I haven't seen, but just want to kind of add that to the collection. I think it's going for like $90 on eBay. I don't know if you can even find it on Amazon. But Blackbeard's Ghost. Next, I spoke about David Cronenberg with Dead Silence. Great director, plays great movies, great, really bizarre, offbeat, quirky movies though. This was about twins. I haven't seen this in years. I think I might have seen this on a VHS copy maybe. I haven't seen this in years, so looking forward to watching this again. Dead Ringers. And this is Spring Factory. Next, let me get Wesley out again for my Kino Lorber pick, Republic Horror Collection. And this was on my eBay list. And I didn't really plan on getting it so soon, but I think they had like a 50% off on it, so I really couldn't pass it up. Kino Lorber does a great job restoring old movies, black and white. They do a super excellent job with their 3D restorations. Some of them, they have to go through years of old film to put them together. Let's see if I can get this out of here. Go. And got the back here on the slipcover. Get it open. There we go. And the movie that they selected here, you have The Lady and the Monster, The Phantom Speaks, The Catwoman of Paris, and Valley of the Zombies. I really get a kick out of some of these old black and white horror movies from 1944 to 1946. That's around the year my mother was born. But you have the standard Kino Lorber disc with the standard Kino Lorber back, which I love because it looks so good on the shelf. I love that uniform look on the shelf. And lastly, my horror 3D pick is actually a 3-set Cult 3D, Chrome 3D, and Sleepwalker 3D. One of them is, I think, totally in Dutch. The other ones, they look okay. They look like low budget horror though, but I love my 3D movies. If I can get horror in 3D, again, it just kind of brings you a little bit closer into the movie. It's more engaging. These probably don't have the pop-outs. I popped them in real quick. The 3D looks decent. Probably don't see a lot of pop-outs because I believe all three of these are pretty much converted to 3D. I don't think they were essentially meant to be in 3D, so they're conversions. And this is for a lot of these 3D movies. It's like a German or Dutch distributor. I don't know who did. Lighthouse did the distribution. Well, that's Lighthouse. This is Blockbuster, and that's Lighthouse. And this, people, is my Dollar Tree Halloween hookup. If you're familiar with the channel, this is where I separate the art from the disc and the plastic, so I can make more room, so I can put more of these into my collection. One or a couple of these might actually make the shelf, so give me a minute, let me get these organized, and I'll get you good people on your way. Hold on. I have everything scanned into my CLZ Movies app. C as in Carlito's Way, L as in Lethal Weapon, Z as in Z for Zachariah. So let's knock this out. I have everything scanned in, ready to be put back in its proper place. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. If you made it this far, smash the like. Give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, what's wrong? Go ahead, subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing. Subscribe. Leave some comments. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone be safe. Deuces.